Hey, it's a me. Super Mario Odyssey is exactly what we want in a Mario game and proof that there's still room in today's market for a modern 3D platformer. I think it's so good that it's worth buying a Switch for this game alone. It's a system seller in the same way that Mario 64 was, and hell, even Mario World. Even though the Switch started out with a tiny library of games, we've seen some huge releases from Nintendo this year. They pumped out 2 main games for their 2 biggest franchises, and because of this, those 2 games will inevitably be pitted against each other when it's Game of the Year season. Or maybe it's not that serious. Maybe you're just buying a Switch and you only want to spend money on one game right now. Breath of the Wild and Odyssey are both incredible games. They are so very different in scope, but have a lot more similarities than they initially let on. Breath of the Wild aims to be this massive exploration game. It's not exactly linear, but it's relatively easy to tell what you should be doing to progress. There's also a ton to do outside of the main quests, and even those side quests help you progress towards the main goal. And when you accomplish that main goal, there is still a ton more to do. Super Mario Odyssey is linear in scope. It's level-based, and you play each level one at a time till you get to the end of the game. It's the classic video game formula, but each level is a mini world, a kingdom. You have free reign to roam around. All the side quests help you progress towards the main goal, and when the main goal is done, there is still a ton more to do. Whoa. On the surface, these 2 games have wildly different styles, but deep down, they offer very similar experiences. The differences are that Zelda gives you all of the mechanics that you need fairly early on, and as you play and get better and better, you'll discover different combinations of those mechanics. Super Mario Odyssey gives you the same classic Mario mechanics that we all know so well because they work, and they work really well. But in Odyssey, there's a twist. That twist is Cappy. Not only is Cappy an added weapon in your arsenal, but he also opens up the floodgates to an insane amount of possibilities. Throughout the game, you capture other NPCs and use their powers, completely changing all of the traditional game mechanics. Everything you capture plays differently. There's so much variety here. There's variety in Breath of the Wild, but it comes in the way of how you tackle certain scenarios. In this way, Breath of the Wild is slightly more of a thinking man's game, where Mario is more of a turn your brain off, get good at jumping game. And again, that's not to say that Mario doesn't make you think sometimes, because it does. Neither game is hard. They're both as hard as you want them to be. I think Odyssey does a better job of this. The main story is fair, not too challenging. But some of these moons are quite the trip. It's never frustrating. I know it's my fault when I keep dying over and over. God damn! Nah, you bitch.
Apparently you insulted.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention, you mother of God. But when you finally get that moon, it's so rewarding. And Odyssey is a lot more of a puzzle game than it lets on. In the same way Zelda has shrines that you have to figure out, a lot of the moons in Mario are locked behind smaller puzzles you have to figure out. My favorite are the physical challenges. There's the obstacle courses, but there's also moons in some areas that will leave you scratching your head and trying all different types of jumps. I'm very biased here. I am much more of a Mario fan than I am a Zelda fan. I also just like the type of game Odyssey is more than I like the type of game Breath of the Wild is, even with the similarities. I like the physical challenge, the twitch reaction necessary for the harder stuff in Mario Odyssey. That's not to say that Zelda doesn't have that, because it does, but it's the main draw to a Mario game. Mario Odyssey takes the traditional level-based linear video game formula and expounds on it, adding stuff and twisting it to fit in the modern era, while at the same time being unapologetically traditional. I can see that some people might have concerns that Zelda has more bang for your buck. It's not linear. There's a ton to do and your gameplay can last over 100 hours. But make no mistake, while Mario's main campaign can be breezed through in a measly 10 hours, most people are going to take their time. And even after the story is over, there are still hundreds of power moons to get. I beat the game with around 160 power moons. That leaves 739 left to go. That's so many. And that doesn't include all the purple coins you need to unlock all of the outfits. And you bet your ass I'm gonna want all those outfits. There's a ton of endgame content. Beating the game initially unlocks one more kingdom that's teased throughout, and there's still more to unlock after that. I beat it, and it still feels endless. I don't want to give everything away because that's spoiler stuff, but you gotta get there. Remember when you got 120 stars in Mario 64 and you saw Yoshi at the top of the castle? Well, that's like a joke compared to everything that you get when you beat this game. And then you get more stars and you unlock more stuff. It's just insane. Odyssey is the perfect game to leave in the cartridge slot of your Switch. It's the perfect game to pull out every so often and hack away at during your long commute. And again, Breath of the Wild is also a great game for that. But for me, Odyssey is just a little bit more perfect. Look, it's like this. Would you rather have $1 million or $1,001,000? Odyssey does have its minor flaws. The motion controls work about 90% of the time with the Pro Controller, but that leaves about a 10% margin of error. And no, I'm not going to use the split Joy-Cons like they want me to. What do you think I am, some sort of casual? Motion controls are mostly optional. They're used to make Mario move faster in certain situations or to throw Cappy upwards. It is possible to throw Cappy in a circle without motion controls, but it's way harder. This could easily have been mapped to a button combination, similar to how you can make Mario do different kinds of jumps.
Something like flick forward, back, and then Y, or like forward and Y at the same time.
Or just map it to one of the triggers. Both sides of the controller do the same thing, so there's room for change there. But this is a minor grievance to something that isn't even required in the game. I'd also say that while the game is gorgeous, the art design is a little odd. While some areas are splendidly Mario, others are, well, New Donk City. Ollie Moss, famous graphic designer turned video game art director, tweeted, "Mario Odyssey is a wonderful game, but I think I dislike its art direction." How could you say such a thing? Such a weird mishmash of colors and textures and materials, compared to the supreme confidence and polish of 3D World. I know the point is to evoke some grand, far-flung adventure to strange worlds, but it felt unintentionally dissonant to me. I think the important part is, compared to the supreme confidence and polish of 3D World, Mario games usually have a strict guideline they design around. A bible of design rules that cannot be broken. Odyssey seems to throw that right out the window. It's most apparent when you look at Pauline and Mario. Then look at all the other humans they're walking around with. And that's not the only stuff in the game with a weird amount of realism. Some things towards the end of the game that I don't want to spoil are very bizarrely off-model for a Mario game, but they feel almost intentionally so. But again, these are the smallest of nitpicks. I added these just so that you won't think I'm
so long,
Nintendo for no reason. The game is incredible. Contrary to what a lot of people think, there are a ton of games for the Switch right now, and there are more coming out as the holidays approach. But if you want one game that defines the system, one game that you can't get anywhere else, this is the game that you want. Hell, it even has a bundle. Beat that, Zelda. Now, in terms of Game of the Year for the Game Awards, I would vote for Odyssey, but I have a feeling that a lot of outlets are going to go with Zelda, because Mario's too much of a kid's game. Oh, sorry, family friendly. We're family friendly here. Nothing happened. Technically, PlayerUnknown's Battleground isn't out yet. If that ends up coming out this year, that would be a serious contender for Game of the Year. Imagine that, Mario versus PUBG, the Switch versus PC. I'm not touching it. I'm not even touching it. So what do you guys think about this shirt? Teach everybody you know how to say Mario the real New York way. Jimmy, give me a slice of pizza over there. Hey, yo, Spider-Man. Lasagna, ravioli, spaghetti. Hey, you still going to LaGuardia? Really, I just refuse to change, and I refuse to change so much that I put it on a shirt. Suck on that. Shirt's only available for a few weeks, so get on that while you still can. Also, what do you think about Mario Odyssey? Or Mario versus Zelda? Two of the best games of the year. Head-to-head, they're both Nintendo. They're very different, but in making this video, I realized they're really not. Anyway, leave it in the comments below, at me on Twitter, all this other social media garbage. New videos every single Tuesday. You got these games videos. Wednesday, you got comics. Wednesday nights, Wulff Den Live. Join us for a live podcast where we'll chat. Lately, we've been doing Sunday game streams, 8 p.m. Eastern time. You've probably seen some footage from that. But if you want to know about all of these, the best thing that you could do is subscribe and click that bell so that you know when we upload a video or when we go live, you big stupid idiot. Subscribing's important, but also sharing with a friend who maybe wants to get a Switch and doesn't know what game to get, or someone you know who will bring something to the conversation with Mario vs. Zelda. Thank you guys very much. How all y'all have yourself a very good week. And happy Halloween. It's Halloween.